All right. So, got another portfolio update. I haven't done this in a while, but numbers are looking pretty good. I'm actually pretty impressed with what's going on. Been doing a lot of programming work and doing a lot of doing a lot of streams, and but I haven't really been doing looking at the portfolio and trying to put uh, information or put this information out and what's going on. So I've been kind of like working around it, showing it here and there. But for the most part, the portfolio is doing very well. Let's go through the numbers. So I already did my projections coming for this upcoming pay period. I get paid this week Friday. So what is that? What day is that? Yeah, so a couple days from now, 14th. So get paid, and from there, I'll just be, paying. I'm gonna be focused on paying off some debts and doing little things. I did cash out of some cryptocurrencies just so I can do some things around the house. Need to get the lawn taken care of. Also need to pay for the yearly termite inspection or the yearly termite service, which is 365 actually. And then I need to do some more. Yeah, we'll have some reserves. I already paid off the little medical bill that I had, which is $350. So I got that off my plate. Let's go a quick update to the cryptocurrency balance here. I've consolidated everything into one space, so it makes it a little bit easier to update certain things. As you can see, we've already done the cross, and we've well surpassed that cross. So this is all my total debts, not including if I do a settlement for my Chase card. So it's even lower than this, but I have to actually do the settlement for now. I just keep it at the balance that I owe on there. Um, but it's crossed. It's done very well. We're currently looking at a grand total of $68,000. In fact, let me just go ahead and update these numbers because I haven't updated them at market close. Cryptos don't close, but stocks do. So Roth IRA, let's see where we ended for the week. Oh, give me a second. Let me pause this. And I'm back. Yeah, sorry. I was boiling some eggs for a salad, so timer went off on that. So I gotta go peel some eggs after this. But I've updated all fields. So we have a up-to-date uh, calculation here. So before it was at 65,000, now it's at 68. Oh my God. And that's mainly from cryptocurrencies. I mean, that is just done freaking phenomenal. Ethereum, I've gone ahead and staked my 6 Ethereum, and I've gone ahead and staked that uh, via my broker there. And in terms of liquid, I might have to like take out the fact that I can't do anything with it because when Ethereum is staked, it can't be unstaked or used until later on unless they come up with some other product to where we can borrow against our Ethereum. But it's okay. I'm going for the long run here because if Ethereum goes to like if Ethereum gets to about like say $30,000 a coin, actually no, $25,000 a coin, 4 coins of Ethereum will pay off my house. I got 6, so that's pretty good. So I'm cool with that for right now. As I said, I'm going to be paying off some debts, so whittling these down here, especially the credit cards. I actually applied for credit the other day for maybe a zero-turn lawnmower, but I'm not gonna go through with that. I got the $5,000, or they gave me a $5,000 credit limit at Lowe's, but my credit limit's like really low right there, and I want to get that a lot higher and get it back up to the 720s here, or the 720 here, and get back to that. So I will be focused in paying off this and making a nice little payment this week to BB&T. So getting rid of all that stuff. In terms of my Roth IRA, the balance is actually done fairly well on that. That's done very well, and all the work that I've done with the bear market prep in terms of just getting more, taking some profits, getting dividend stocks, that's done pretty well. So I'm sitting on I think about $30 or so in cash in that Roth IRA portfolio, so that's done well. The passive income portfolio, done some work there in terms of dividend yielding stocks, and that has really helped me because with M1 Finance, the $6,000, $6,045 that I took out, the monthly interest payment is about $10. So with the monthly interest payment about $10, and I get about $30 from AT&T, unless they cut a dividend, this is literally going to pay my monthly interest payments. So that gives me a little bit more time so that I can actually keep that money in the cryptocurrency market. Now that brings us to the YOLO move. Since January 17th of this year, 2021, this YOLO move, I sold out of BTC. I did pretty well on that. I mean, it wasn't that much. I didn't have much in there at all. I think it was like at the end of everything, it was like 870 bucks, I think is what I took out of that. And that zeroed me out for BTC. But overall, I've actually well over tripled my money. So 222%. So 100% is doubled, 200% is triple. So I've tripled my money off of my initial investment of about $5,347. So with that, I've tripled the money, and I've also stopped doing my um, recurring what is that word called again? My recurring deposits or recurring buys for cryptocurrencies. Not because of the markets going crazy, but mainly because, again, this is why it's not great to have debt. But I just saw that, hey, listen, I need to pay off some of these other little things and get this off the table here, and that will do well for me overall. So, for instance, if I just game plan and take those two out, I'm down to 33 grand, and then I can start knocking things like the M1 finance down a little bit at a time, and it's just, again, more and more snowball effect, if you will, and getting rid of all that stuff. The best thing would be if I can get rid of the car payment, which I'm just really holding off on. But as it stands um with Ethereum alone, I could have paid off my truck and had money left over. So Ethereum's done freaking amazing, phenomenal for me. um but as we look at it in an overall bigger picture, the interest that I'm getting paid charged on this M1 finance loan, which is 2%, I'm definitely outdoing that in cryptocurrencies in terms of my return on investment from that same amount of money. So we'll say the $6,000 that I took out from M1 finance, all of it went into cryptocurrencies. I mean, if I tripled that money, then shoot, I can just take that, pay it all back, but I want to keep it in there, and I'll go ahead and take the hit on the chin, which is being covered. All those interest payments are being covered by the bear market prep that we did. In terms of bear market prep, has actually um, produce enough in terms of dividends to where it's paying that interest for me. So that's not really quote unquote coming out of my pocket theoretically, or my immediate my pay every week. It's actually just coming out of my dividend payments, which come once a quarter. So I'm getting enough in dividend payments once a quarter to pay off that interest. Beautiful, love it, keep it going. I know I've talked around it for a couple minutes now, but it's just like that's exciting. That's great. So, with that, my grand total for my debt is 36 grand, but my liquid assets, if I was to sell all my stock, sell all my crypto, even the staked ones, maybe even do like a product where like, maybe if, my broker comes up with a product that can actually liquidate all that crypto, then, not liquidate, but borrow against that crypto, I can go ahead and boom, liquidate everything and have 52 grand. So, and to pay off things. But this is why I want to actually change this in terms of like the asset, in terms of this here. Maybe even take this. Uh, so, so if I want to account for the fact that I have all that cryptocurrency staked. So we'll do, let's see, we can get like a better picture. This amount times 6 and subtract that from the value. Boom. All right, cool. So I don't have enough liquid. I have enough liquid right now to pay off my truck, but I don't have enough liquid in terms of total assets and everything like that to pay off all my debt. So, but we need these things. We need to be honest with ourselves. I need to be honest with my finances and everything else like that, and look at it and say, "Oh, okay, now you ain't really got it like that, partner." And that's because my Ethereum is staked. It's not that I don't have that valuation, but I do not have that in terms of liquid cash. So, yeah, that's good, and I like that because that's a little bit better. A better account of what's really going on in my portfolio. It's like I can't brag anymore. Oh my God, that sucks. So if we look at the YOLO move, yeah, I mean, we've profited X amount of dollars here. We profited $11,000. Currently, it's sitting at 17 grand, and that's just from the YOLO move alone. In that YOLO move, we bought one Ethereum, and we made some subsequent purchases thereafter, or we made some subsequent purchases, and then we bought some XLM and made some subsequent purchases as well. So we've stopped all those, and we're looking at these are our numbers. Alrighty, so in terms of the Ethereum move that was made a while back, if we look at that, I mean that's a 169% ROI on that $250. So this is where I talk about like you don't need so much money to get into it. I mean you can do it with 50 to $100 or what have you, but you don't need that much money to get into cryptocurrency and actually make some type of profit. Now you do make bigger profits, more substantial, life-changing profits if you put more money into it, but it's a risk. It's something that you need to do your research on before you get into all these altcoins like Shiba Inu coin or whatever else that just came out or what have you, or any of these other altcoins. Do your research on them. As I say, if you're not taking what I say with a grain of salt, you're low on sodium. If you're not taking what some of these other YouTubers and altcoin buzz and all this other stuff say with a grain of salt, you are low on sodium. And I like altcoin buzz and some of these other channels that are out there, but let's be honest, sometimes they're not right. It is a risk, and they'll tell you that too. They're very honest and straightforward about that, or transparent about that, I should say. All right, so this one here, let's get rid of this. I don't need that. Yeah, these I have to actually update this because I haven't really done any updates on this because I want to see how everything looks in terms of you know, what's happening now and some of these moves. So I'll update this here a little bit later. But for the most part, oh, and then this is just like some other coins that I actually had like laying around. Found a little treasure trove there, so I used that to fund some of the stuff that I need to do for the house. But yeah, I mean, our graph is looking very nice. I mean, that's a nice, what, 60-degree angle almost 45 or something like that, 45 to 60-degree angle. I don't like that growth. I mean, that's a little bit too much. That's not sustainable. It's done very well, and I like it, but or I like the fact that it's going up. But I'm at the point where I don't want to sell any more coins. But this also not sustainable. So this is fine because if I'm not selling any more coins, I'm in it for the long term. My Ethereum is staked. Um, but if I look at this growth, I mean, if I was a person that actually had assets and I wanted to keep my profits, and I'm not worried about, I'm not looking at a long-term outlook on this, I would be panicking a little bit and selling out of some of this and putting into more stable stocks. The stock market itself is not doing very well. Those gains are a little bit lower, and I'm losing money on that because this portfolio here was actually at about $17,000. But this actually reveals something in terms of my Roth IRA. That actually is done very well in terms of just like going up month by month. So let's take a closer look at that. Oh no, M1 Finance, I do not separate. So, let's see here. No, I don't. M1 Finance. Yeah, no, I don't separate my M1 Finance. But if we look at my M1 Finance, this should be the red line here. But we see that its last high was, oh, come on. Yeah, this was a couple months ago now. 1, 2, 3. Actually, let's use this. Find this graph here, and that would be the orange line in this, so that they give me a date. So yeah, the last high was February, and then now currently, if I look at this, yeah, I'm pretty much getting back up to that and dropping again. So M1, not my overall general investing account has not done well, and I got some pretty big losers in there, it looks like. And so a part of that is lack of so being off in terms of my targets, my target amounts has left me vulnerable. So things like Tesla, getting into newer stocks like Baidu, getting into Neo, I got losses there. But some other stocks have actually been keeping this thing afloat a little bit to where I'm not getting margin called in terms of my collateralized loan. So It's sustaining right now, for now at least. But this is something that definitely needs to be watched out for, and this is why we have to definitely pay this down so we don't get margin called and possibly be asked out and have to sell some stocks to get this going. So now it's kind of just time to pay the piper. But pretty much that's it, man. If I look at everything in terms of allocations for all this other stuff, this is based off of, ooh, this is, yeah. Okay, so I don't like this. This is that calculation that we made earlier today. Or sorry, early in the stream. Um, if I just change that, boom, there we go. So we see the a better output of this because this pie chart is based off of that data as you see. And yeah, crypto is just taking up 56% of my portfolio just because of stocks not doing well in my passive income portfolio. My Roth is doing very well because that's actually highly diversified and has a lot of different ETFs. And also, my growth section of that pie is also doing well. But even in that growth section, there's not a lot of there's there's a pretty there's conservative picks and picks that don't really lose much money over time. At least that's just what is shown thus far. Nothing is set in stone, so anything could happen. But if I look at my between my stocks general and my Roth IRA stocks, I'm looking at about 25, 35, 36% in just stocks alone, and that's with combining the Roth and the passive income portfolio. I'm looking at 36%, 401k 7.3%. I do have to update that number, but it's not that far off. That does not grow very fast. I will say, my personally managed portfolio does a lot better. But yeah, this is what's going on. Everything looks good. I'm liking these numbers. What I'm liking these numbers in terms of a bird's eye view, but I'm not liking what makes up these numbers. I mean, it's nice to have this grand total of 86 grand. It's nice to see the month over month change, change in terms of the difference here. So going from the month of April into the no, actually month of May, so February, March. So March, yeah, this is March, right? No, this is here we go. This here. So this is the month of April. So the month of April, I had a gain of $3,000 for the overall portfolio balance. Didn't really do anything, but we're seeing that I added more debt here. And for the month of that should be May. Yeah, no, April, March, April. So that's this month, right? Oh, jeez. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so at the beginning of this month, so 5/1. So at the beginning of this month, this is the way I do this is just confusing even to me. So I apologize for that, guys. But this is really the month of April. This is the actual month of March and the gains that I've had in it. So the month of March, I gained $3,000. The month of April, so at the beginning of the month of May, 5/1, from month to month, I'm looking at a $10,000 difference. So we've gained $10,000. Now we're looking at going into June. So in the month of May, I'm looking at possibly gaining another $10,000. I mean, it's just crazy what the cryptocurrency market is doing. If we look at our cryptocurrency numbers, we're jumping up and this is with selling some of these cryptos. Remember, guys, I've been selling, and taking profits, putting it in different places, making buys in different areas, buying Coinbase the stock and things like that, losing money on that, by the way. I bought it at about 309 and I'm down about, I think it's like 250 or something like that. But taking this money, making purchases in other stocks and things like that. So now you're seeing, even with all of that, crypto is just on a freaking straight bull run, bull market tear. It's just going crazy. And you should be afraid of those things. You should be scared when everybody and their mama is talking about Doge and getting in the market and buying high and all these other things. So, I mean, looking at my cryptos going from 15 grand to 20 grand to 27 to 38, like, right here, This is when I borrowed from M1 Finance, and that's that influx of 6 grand right there. So automatically, so that's what that is in terms of like borrowed money coming into the space. But then even after that, those have paid off and had a great return on investment as we see 222%. Um, but, this is just crazy. 15, 20. So we'll just say right here, 5 grand alone just in crypto. And then another 7 grand. Then another 11 grand. Like, what the hell is going on? So, guys, be careful of this and be careful what's going on. I'm okay with what's going on in in the crypto side of things. I do not like my exposure and the high risk that I have with M1 Finance. But quote unquote, I don't want to lose any of my stock. I think I have great companies and I have great companies and I have great shares and I have a decent valuation in these shares. I want to put more into this, but I do have to handle the debt. So paying off these smaller debts, these credit cards and things like that will definitely help in the long run, and those are things that we want to focus on. Alrighty, so that's it for this update, guys. I hope it was pretty decent in terms of like actionable intel. Um, just be careful. Have a mindset where you're a little bit on the paranoid side, to where you're looking at these things and you're saying, "Oh crap, this is happening here. I got to be careful of this," so on and so forth. Anyways, as always, if you're not taking what I say with a grain of salt, then you're low on sodium. Be sure to do your research, look at what's going on in the market, and making sure that you're making the right moves for your future. All right, peace.